Well, first of all, I would like to welcome you to the sausage shop. We are the owners, Letty and Miguel Hernandez, and we have been owners of the sausage shop since 2007. We first acquired this back probably the knowledge of the sausage shop because my sister's husband was the son of Joe Harisco, and he was the original founder of the sausage shop. He started learning how to make sausage back in Germany. He was in the military. He did not want to live on post, so he lived outside in the village. And the home that he had rented for his family and himself had a basement. And there was a sausage maker that was a next door neighbor of his. And he needed a place to dry the sausage. And so this basement was perfect. So he asked Joe if he could use the basement, and Joe said yes. So while there, Joe was paying very close attention because that's the way Joe is. He's very meticulous and very attentive to his surroundings. Anyway, that's where he learned how to make sausage in Germany. And so when he came back to the States, he started making it at home in his garage for himself. He started making it, his neighbors started finding out about it, and he started selling it to them. And then he came to the sausage shop because one of his friends, Bob White, owned the Lion's Den. And this building right here was the Lion's Den. This was a barber shop. The Lion's Den was where the carpet place is, Arnold's Carpets. And that little space was available. So Bob White told him that he could use it. And you know what? I'm thinking I made a mistake. I think it was Bob Morris. Bob Morris, yes. But anyway, so he started selling the sausage there. He would make it at home and bring it here. And he was starting up his business, and he was getting a lot of customers and people that would come to the Lion's Den, which was a bar, very appropriate. They get hungry, sausage, right? And then Bob would make it at the Lion's Den. He started getting really busy, and
Around what time was it? What year was this?
oh, I would think, what did we say? I think it was probably in the 1980s when he first started making sausage in his garage. Then eventually he ended up here, possibly the late 1980s. And so then that's when it started. But I did not get involved with helping him out until I would say 94, 93, something like that. My son and we would come and help out because he would open on Sundays. So we would work right here and sell his sausage. We would go and pick up the sausage at his garage and then bring it here because there was no prep area really available. And so that's how we got involved. And like I say, we knew each other because of my sister's marriage to his son, and we became very good friends. And so that was the process, of obtaining the knowledge. There was times that he would get tired and he would sell it. He sold it, I think, maybe one or two times before, and it didn't work out. They would sell it back to him. And in 2005, he approached me again, and said, "Letty, do you want the sausage shop?" And I said, "No, Joe, it's too much work." In passing, I told him about the offer, and he says, "Well,"
and that's when I started considering, well, you know what, maybe, I was getting close to retiring. I used to work for El Paso Independent School District, and and then every time we saw him, he would throw that at us, hey,
buy the sausage
shop. And then, as I was getting closer to retirement, like I said, well, you know what, maybe so I'll think about it. And then when I got close to retiring, then I said, okay, you know what, Joe? I gave him a call. And then he answered. And then he said, "You better be calling me because you want to buy the shop." I go, "You know what, Joe? I do. We do want to buy the shop.
Yeah.
That's exactly why I'm calling you."
Yeah.
So yeah, then, we sat down and talked about it. But Joe said, "You know what? I'm going to go ahead and train you. I'm going to teach you the sausage business." So he taught me for a whole year.
All of 2006.
All right. Every day, you know what? I would come here and make sausage, and he teach me everything, and the spices, what spices work well with certain type of sausages, and that's how we got started. And after a year, you know what?
January
he
1st,
said,
2007.
He
That's
said,
the
"You're
first
ready."
day.
Yeah, he gave me the stamp of approval and said, "All right."
I understand that Joe was quite a personality.
Oh my
I
gosh.
had the privilege of meeting him a few times when I first moved here in the early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
You have some fun stories that you can tell about how Joe ran the business?
Absolutely. Joe ran the sausage business like a social club. He would offer his customers beer. He always had a beer. He always had a beer himself. His son Joey was always with him, and Joey would also share that beer with him every now and then. But he was a character. He was very charismatic. He was very funny. He always told stories and jokes. There was a couple of times that maybe a customer would come in and I remember this very, very well, wasn't happy with the sausage. It was a boudin. And the guy came in and said he wasn't very happy with the sausage, that it wasn't the way he wanted it, and it was not the way he had it like when he was growing up in his hometown, and I guess in New Orleans. And so Joe said, well, you know what? Go to Sears. And then the guy says, they don't sell sausage. He goes, that's right, they don't. Get out. He used some choice words. He did use some choice words. That was Joe. And so that was one of the things that I remember the most of him. Always, he was very humble and very nice. But when somebody would come in and criticize, it was, I guess, the way he said it. Had he said, this is a little different than what I've had, maybe it would have been a different kind of response from Joe. But he said, go to Sears. Mm-hmm. So that was probably one of the stories. Yeah. Do you remember any other stories?
No.
There were so many of them.
Well, he was a character. He was funny. He was always joking around. Even after we purchased the business, he would be here every Saturday. Every Saturday he would be here just to,
see how we were doing.
He would sit over there and just look around and see how we're doing everything and even though we were already here, and I would still ask him a lot of questions, and that is what I miss a lot. I wish, I miss that so much right now, and I wish I could still talk to him, because you're still learning, and I miss him so much when because I have customers that come in and they want a certain type of sausage made, and then I said, dang, how do I do this? Then I said, Joe, I wish you were here, so give me some answers. Because we do have customers that come in and they ask for quite a bit of sausage. Somebody will come in and say, I want something, 50 pounds of this, and we have customers that bring their own recipes, and I'll make it for them.
We had a young lady from South Africa that came in, and she wanted Boer's sausage. And so, it's something that we had never heard of. So we asked her to bring her own recipe, and she did. And we made it for her. Maybe once or twice she came in and we did. And then she moved back to South Africa. We also had the German army at that time here in El Paso, and the German school. They would buy bratwurst for Oktoberfest and just any kind of other occasion. But we did have some German soldiers come in. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And they wanted Pinkelwurst. We had no idea what Pinkelwurst was. Fortunately, Joe was still around. He was still around, right?
Yes.
And so we asked him, Joe, have you ever heard of Pinkelwurst? Nope. I said, well, they're asking us to make it. And he goes, well, ask him for the recipe.
Yeah, so what's for the recipe? And then they brought the recipe in German.
Yeah, that was fun.
What? I can't.
We don't read German.
Yeah,
we don't speak German.
So they had to translate it and,
So they did. So they did.
So we finally, we got the recipe, translated and everything. And then we did that sausage. And they were here with us during the whole process.
It was after hours.
Yeah, it was after hours. We had closed, and they were here. And then, Joe was here also. And, That was always fun.
Yeah,
That was
they
fun.
brought their beers, they brought their steins,
Their steins.
and it was very unusual because we were mixing all the ingredients and the meat. Well, Mike was, and so they would just pinch.
They would taste it like that. They would
Raw.
get it raw and they taste it. Say, oh, okay, or oh no, put
A
more
little
of
bit
this,
more of this.
that, and and then finally when they were happy, then I would stuff the sausage.
But it was really weird because I'm thinking to myself, this is pork. You don't eat pork by raw. But I guess it really didn't matter because they were drinking their beer while we were making it. And the other thing that I remember was that
Yeah, I was gonna drink. They gave me a beer, and I was gonna drink it out of a bottle. I didn't know, but that's how I drink my beer, right? Out of just drink it. And they go, no, what are you doing? Like, why? What's wrong? Because they gave they bought the steins and no, you to pour it in there and then drink it. We don't drink out of a bottle.
they don't drink
They
out.
don't drink out of a bottle.
So that was really nice.
That was
And they were happy.
That was fun that day. It was fun.
Yeah, they were very happy with the product, and they had some kind of festival, and that's what they needed the pinkelwurst for. So, but that was the one and only time that we made the pinkelwurst, because then they went back to Germany.
So when Joe was running the shop, what were some of the most typical sausages in terms of that he would make? Can you give me some names of some of the?
Well, of course.
And then tell us how, over the years, what new combinations of sausages you've created and
Yes, when, like I said, we used to go pick up the sausage at his home and bring it here. It was mainly the bratwurst, chorizo, his version of chorizo, the Polish. He made a Cajun and a Medwurst. He also made a jalapeno, and that was pretty much the 5 or 6 sausages that he would make and bring here. And so that's what he initially started with, and it evolved. It started with jalapeno and cheese, the green chile asadero, and then we started making more.
Yeah, we started. We realized that people wanted hot stuff, hot, spicier. So we started. We did the habanero, and the jalapeno cheddar, and those really sell a lot here. Anything hot sells.
Pico de gallo.
Pico de gallo. We came up with the pico de gallo sausage, and then the roasted garlic and roasted jalapeno sausage. Anything with jalapenos in it, hot.
You're happy.
Yeah.
But even the habanero, for some people, it wasn't hot enough. So we started adding ghost pepper cheese to it. So,
Yeah, so now we have with ghost pepper
what
cheese.
kind of cheese?
Ghost pepper cheese. It was one of the hottest peppers.
Peppers, right?
Yeah.
Actually, they came up with it in New Mexico, right? New Mexico
Yes.
State University.
Yes.
And the ghost pepper. Yeah, and then I found that they make it in, they put it in cheese. So I had it, shipped in, and we also make habanero with ghost pepper cheese and then just habanero.
Yes.
Yeah, and then we came up with a cheese dip, a habanero cheese dip. And even then, I started adding the ghost pepper cheese to the habanero cheese.
Cheese on more cheese.
Yeah, and that it sells a lot.
And in the tub, we will add a habanero in there.
We'll put a habanero in there, a whole habanero in there, and
So it's a surprise.
And then I ask the customers, hey, so do you guys have a challenge when whoever gets to the habanero, gets the habanero, to see who will eat it? And some customers say, yeah, we do. When we get the habanero, say, hey, who's gonna eat this? It's just like the worm on the bottom of the tequila bottle.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what they do. So we put a whole habanero in there, so whoever gets it has to eat it.
So when you took over the business in the late 90s, right?
Well, no, we started it in 2007.
Oh, 2007, sorry.
January 1st, 2007.
Talk to us a little bit about owning a sausage shop. We tend, obviously, as you've said so far, associate sausage with Germany and so forth.
Yeah.
Or Poland. Tell us about running a sausage shop in the border, in a Mexican-American border. And obviously some of the recipes that you suggested indicate that, but tell me your experience.
Yes. It has not been very easy because a lot of the Hispanic, people do not know what sausage is. They think it's just chorizo, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, no. We try and explain to them that, sausage, there's many different types of sausage, starting with the bratwurst, with the most basic that everybody, most of the people know.
Right. You know what? We have customers that ask for a jalapeno bratwurst or a green chile asadero brat, and then
Yeah.
we explain to them, you know what? Brat is a different type of sausage. It's a taste of its own. Everything is sausage, but we have brat sausage, jalapeno cheddar sausage, Italian sausage, but they all ask for like an Italian bratwurst, so they don't know that they're all sausages, but they just have different names, different flavors.
And they call everything a brat.
The difference in the sausages is the spices, like Italian, of course, has fennel, and pepper, garlic, and like the Polish sausage also has more garlic. It's the amounts of the spices that you use. Some have more and some have less. And we also make bangers. That's an English sausage.
Mm-hmm.
And that is you can't find that anywhere here in El Paso. I don't think anybody even sells boudin. Boudin is a Cajun sausage down south. Louisiana, South Texas, and the spices are different. Like boudin has like 13 different spices in there.
And rice.
Yeah, it has rice in there, and we cook the rice, and we mix it in with pork, and it's just different types of spices, and
Which is fully cooked. That boudin is fully cooked.
they're fully cooked.
And people in Louisiana that are accustomed to boudin, they just squeeze it out of the casing, or
eat it
they'll
like
spread
that.
it on crackers and
Right.
stuff like that. So not too many people in El Paso are familiar with boudin, but people that have had boudin will come and get it, and they say that it's really, really good.
Yeah, they like it. And then we also make currywurst and weisswurst. Currywurst and weisswurst is a completely different sausage. It's more like it's emulsified, and it's a texture like a hot dog and bologna.
Mm-hmm.
And that one is also fully cooked. That one it's the process is longer in making those types of sausages. But we do have sausages that you can't find anywhere else. Currywurst, weisswurst, boudin, bangers. And like we mentioned earlier, we have customers that bring their own, recipes, and we'll work with them. And some of them just said, you know what, I want some bratwurst, but can you add this to it? Sure, I'll do it. About maybe by 5 pounds minimum. And then a customer said, you know what, I want to buy some bratwurst, but can you put bacon in it? I said, yeah, okay, sure. So we did,
And pineapple.
And pineapple. Well, a customer wanted pineapple. So you know what, when we did that bacon one, I worked with the recipe, and we started making bacon broth. Now we're making bacon broth, and yeah, that's how,
You know what? I do have a little story. It's when we first started in January of 2007. Like I say, we thought he knew exactly what to do with the sausage making and everything, but we didn't know. Well, we forgot actually that Super Bowl was coming, and so we thought our freezers were stocked and ready to go. We were so mistaken.
We had a rude awakening, and Joe even warned us. He goes, "You guys, you better be ready for Super Bowl," but we don't know what. Okay, well, we'll be ready. But when he said, we didn't know what he meant by "we better be ready." Just okay, we have enough sausage, but no, man, we were swamped. We were running out of sausage. We were here all night making sausage
to 3 a.m.
Yeah.
making sausage just so that we could keep up with the demand, the two of us. And we had our older children helping us as well. But the one thing that I remember that Joe was so impressed with us was that since we started making the sausage here, because he never really did make the sausage here, it was at home, he really liked, because people would see us making the sausage. And people say you never want to see how sausage is made. Well, they did, and they really enjoyed it. And so that created a whole kind of, watching us, and he loved it. Like I say, Miguel said he would come every Saturday. I would make something to eat. He would sit here and eat with us and see the process of us making the sausage, and he really, really liked the fact that we were making it here and people were watching us. So that was really nice. He got a little thrill out of that. And when he first started, he was only taking cash. So when we started taking credit cards and checks and debit cards and stuff. And so that was another thing that he was really impressed.
Right.
Plus,
he wanted to do that, but he just never got to it.
he never got to it. Plus, we also started, taking SNAP. And that was another thing that he wanted to as well. And he never did.
And you bring the process of how to sell your sausages. Other than people coming here and buy them, are there other ways in which people in El Paso eat your sausages? I mean, do you sell them to a restaurant or how does that work? Or is it just buying here?
Well, like Miguel said, we have people coming in and they're wanting certain sausages, right? We are a retail business, and so we make what they want. What they do with it, if they take it to a restaurant and sell it, that's...
Or a food truck,
Yes.
We do have customers that come in and buy, quite a bit. And, and then I find out later on, that
they're selling
it. They have food trucks,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's how they, sell their sausage when they buy it.
Yeah.
Well, I just think that's kind of cool because then a lot more people get to eat your sausages.
Yes.
So that's nice.
Yes. Plus, we do occasionally ship. We've shipped... Whew,
New York, New Jersey, and California,
Yes.
and mainly in the East.
in the East. Yeah, believe it or not, and they have sausages, shops, stores over there they sell. But they've been in El Paso. They've come where they have family, whatever, and they come to the shop, and they prefer ours.
And what happens during the holidays, Easter,
Just-
Christmas, Thanksgiving, customers or people that come to El Paso to visit, they'll come here and take a bunch back home.
Pounds and pounds
Right.
of it.
They do. They say, we're in El Paso visiting family, so we're going to take advantage of taking some back.
Yeah.
And then we have a trucker that comes through El Paso,
Yes.
and he'll give us a call, say, hey, I'm going to pass by El Paso, man, can you give me some, put an order together? I said, yeah, sure, man. And then he'll let us know when he's close by. We're at home. If he's on a weekend, I said, you know what? If you're coming by, give me a call. I'll meet you there. And then he'll park his big old semi there, bring down an ice chest, and we'll fill it up, and he'll take off to California.
And we're talking hundreds of dollars. He takes
so,
a lot of sausage. But we do have a lot of people that come in and take out of town.
Out of town, and they buy a lot when they take out of town.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
It is.
they always tell me, well, my brother or sister, my family, they say when you go to El Paso, or bring me back some sausage. Yeah, people do that.
Mm-hmm.
That is wonderful. Do you have a particular favorite sausages that you make?
I do.
Can you tell us about
Yes. My favorite, I have two favorites. It's the jalapeno cheddar and the pico de gallo. I love cilantro, and the pico de gallo, that just hits the spot. And it's got the limoncito, the tomate, the cebolla. It's just the jalapeno. It's got everything a pico de gallo salsa has, and it's just, I like that a lot. And the jalapeno cheddar, I like cheese and I like jalapeno.
Yeah, that's a perfect combination. Bratwurst, jalapeno cheddar, habanero, and the green chile asadero are the biggest sellers here. Biggest sellers.
And brats.
Yeah, and brats. Yeah.
Yeah.
I suspect that has something to do with the chile. And where
Yes.
we are.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly.
It brings in the Mexican.
Exactly.
the Mexican
Yes.
familiarity.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yes.
The one that you just mentioned with pico de gallo. Whose invention is that?
That's ours. Once, we had pico de gallo.
That was me.
Yeah.
I was the one. Because I like pico de gallo so much, and I asked him, well, you know what? Let's try making a pico de gallo. He was, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, let's put
throw it
all of
in,
those
yeah.
things in the meat, and maybe some other, the salt, of course, and stuff, and the limon, And we started making it, and it started, really selling and stuff. And so, yes, I will take credit for the pico de gallo.
Yeah. And then I came up with, because I love roasted green chilies, roasted peppers, and so I said, I'm gonna roast up some jalapenos and roast some garlic, and we put them together, throw some spices in there, and then we started making roasted garlic with roasted jalapeno.
Yeah.
But when we do that, it'll take us, I'm gonna say, about 3 times before you get it perfect,
Yeah,
because sometimes it doesn't taste like it, I don't like it, so we'll add or delete or
It's a process.
Right.
It's a
It'll take
process.
about 3 times, 3 trials.
So the sausage shop is certainly sounds like a family business. Joe was here, his son was here, although Joe, obviously, from what I'm gathering, did all the cooking. But a minute ago you mentioned that your children would help you. So is this a family business? Has
It
been
is a family
So
business.
can you tell us a little bit about that?
It is a family business. Not only did Joe have his son Joey with him here, he also had his own kids and his grandkids. Before we took over, they would help out, and so it has always been a family business. Joe couldn't do everything by himself, and so he had them come in on the weekends and they would sell. And then when we took over, like I say, come January 1st, 2007, it was going to be Super Bowl Sunday, and we had no idea, and it just couldn't be us two. So we had our children come in as well. And not only our children, but we've had nieces and nephews come in,
and grandchildren.
And grandchildren
Now
as well.
it's the grandchildren.
Now it's the grandchildren. But we've learned, it's like 3 generations. And they have started their job careers, or their job experience, I should say,
Right
here at the sausage shop. So then they start learning the basics of being an employee and what is expected of an employee, the payroll process, the timesheets and stuff. So it has been a very good experience for everybody involved. And when I was working for the school district, I worked in special ed. And we even had a couple of our students that were special ed students come in and work here as well. Miguel was here for 3 years.
Right.
And so it has been a really good experience for everybody. The families, our friends, distant relatives, and just everybody.
Right. Yeah.
Everybody involved. It's been really good.
That's great. This brings me to another topic, since we're talking about family. What impact has being part of the sausage shop has had in your ways of eating at home? So has the shop gone home? Obviously, that home has come to the shop. Has it gone the other way around? Can you tell us about that? You were laughing at, so I guess so.
It's funny because people will always ask us, do you guys eat your own sausage? And I'm like, yeah. All the time.
We do it when we have a cookout or family over, you know.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they ask us, hey, you know what, you got to have some sausage. So we'll take sausage at home,
Yeah.
Yeah, we do take it home.
So it has come here because we come up with, okay, like for example, for a discada, right? Of course, you have your beef, and it's chopped and whatever. We add habanero to it. We'll add chorizo to it. And so we have an amazing discada. And people will ask us, well, what else can you do besides eating it in a bolillo or in a hot dog bun? Well, this is what you can do. You can mix maybe the habanero or the jalapeno sausage with some beef and make yourself some meatballs for a picadillo, for albondigas. For the spaghetti Italian sausage, you can use it for the sauce, or you can make the meatballs, whatever, or the sausage, the link itself with your spaghetti.
Right. Yeah, we use it as a spice. We take our sausage and we don't just eat it like that in a bun. Like Letty said, we'll eat it. We'll put in another dish and mix it up and do different things. And people also ask us, they don't buy the sausage in a link. They'll ask it for us in bulk. Like can I have a pound of chorizo, but not in a link. I just want the chorizo or Italian, or any sausage. And also some customers ask for patties,
For hamburgers.
For hamburgers, like one thing that we discovered is that if we put make a patty out of a jalapeno cheddar, and you like a hamburger, with lettuce, tomato, and all that. Oh man, it's great. Yeah, it's real good.
We shared those jalapeno cheddar patties with the Roscoe's.
Yeah.
And Roscoe's is the hamburger place up the street. And so they would always come and buy for like football games and stuff, like, because he's a big Cowboy fan as well. And so they would come and buy the sausage here, the jalapeno, right? It was the jalapeno.
Yeah, jalapeno.
And so then we were up there having hamburgers, and we told him, I said, you know what, we make a jalapeno sausage, jalapeno cheddar patty. He goes, oh, that sounds interesting. So we took some up there, and he loved them también.
Yeah.
They're, I mean, it's...
Yeah, that's good, man.
Yeah.
And now we also came up with a jalapeno cheddar sliders.
The sliders.
The sliders. Yeah.
Oh, and I had forgotten, it's not just the sausage that we make, but like we make bacon. We make the bacon. It's not the pork belly.
No, I make it from the shoulder, the pork shoulder.
Yes.
There's and I cut it a certain way, where it gives me, it's leaner than regular bacon. Just the right amount of pork fat on there, and that's what we make our bacon.
Yeah. Plus, we make schnitzel, and that's the other thing that we had to teach some of our customers, because they was like, "Pues qué es schnitzel?" And I would say, "Pues it's like a milanesa, but with pork." And then they found it interesting, and then they started trying it, and so then they realized, okay, this is good. And so yeah, we just kind of associate some of our products to the Mexican cuisine, and then they can understand what we're talking about, because like we said earlier, they just see every sausage as a brat, and it's not. But it has been a learning experience, and we've enjoyed it tremendously. We've learned so much ourselves about business, because we're not really business people,
Right.
but we became business people.
And going back to the recipes, I've come up with some different recipes, but and then I said to myself, and I share, of course, with Letty, I say, you know what? I came up with this recipe, but do I want another sausage on top of what we sell? We already have like
Over
20,
25 types of
sausages. Do I want to add this to it? Because then it's just, I'm going to overwhelm myself and trying to have all that in stock. But I do have recipes, and I just keep them there. I don't know, future use, I guess. I don't know. I just, I love this. I love making sausage, and I love working with spices, and what can I do, or I'll add this sausage with this sausage, and to see how it tastes, and I love it. I love it.
When we first started, we started thinking about, enticing people, or not so much enticing, but teaching them what sausage is, right? So I would make little patties of sausage, and then we would have them out there, and they would be sampling them. But we had to stop because they would just stand there all day, pretty much for like an hour, just eating their sausage. And it's like, okay, you can come in, sample maybe one or two, and then buy some, take home. But it was we learned the hard way. Yeah. They were having a meal out there. Yeah.
The blood sausage we cannot make here. I can make it, but it's difficult to get the blood. Okay, and you can't get it here. Nobody sells it, so as far as our supplies goes, we try to stay local. Okay, and we buy everything local if I can, but some you can't get the casing local. At least not in the amount that we use. Maybe you can go to a Sports Authority or those sports places where they sell you one pack.
Packages.
But of course, we use way more than that. So we get our casing from Kentucky, and our cheese comes from Wisconsin. And because it's a high temp cheese, it won't melt. It stays intact. If you're cooking the sausage, it won't melt. And so the cheese, the casing, we get it from out of town. But everything else, the spices, the meat, everything is local. I wish I could stay everything local, but just a few items I could get out of town.
So, I want to buy meat because I want to learn how to make sausages, especially if you show us how. Where do I go to buy local meat?
Well, you can get it at Sam's, right? And the pork and spices. Some spices we go to a handy pack. you know, because they have a variety of spices there.
But the meat you would want to use for sausage would be a Boston butt.
Yeah, pork butt.
Pork
And
butt.
you can get that anywhere, but we go here locally to Restaurant Depot, and you know, but it's only for commercial businesses, you know, and you just cannot just go buy one pork butt. No, you have to buy a case, you know, which is great for us, you know, 'cause we do. I mean, we buy it by the case, you know.
And the pork butt is the best type of meat to use for sausage because the fat to meat ratio is perfect.
Mhm.
And so that's the same kind of meat we use for tamales, right?
Pork.
So, yeah, we're not a slaughterhouse. We don't have our pigs here. We do buy Boston pork butts because we've been asked that many a time.
Mhm.
And you know, another thing that they've been asking us for is vegan sausage. We would love to, but I've asked a couple of other places that do make their it's a vegan place, and they really haven't been very
Sharing the
they don't want to share, and so we were going to have to come up with our own recipes for that. So we're looking at doing that because, you know, that's another market we can tap into.
Seems like the main, well, one of the substitutes obviously is
Tofu,
but
yeah.
being like lentils or like
Mushrooms, yeah.
Mushrooms.
Yeah.
Mushrooms has been another major
Mhm.
substitute, right?
Right.
For meat.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And there are a couple places that they cultivate mushrooms locally.
Yeah.
So
Right.
So no, we're looking into that.
that'd be great.
We'll look into that. The only difficult thing is because I've already looked into it, is the casing.
Because it's
Yeah, the casing. You can't get
it's pig intestines.
pig or beef, and you know, a synthetic casing, or collagen casing. You know, it's
Hard to work with.
well, it's hard to work with, but you can't get it from our suppliers, from casing suppliers. They don't have a vegan casing.
Yeah.
You know, that's the difficult part.
So as we think, since 2007, that's a long time ago. What's the future for this family-run business? What's
Well,
Well, the future.
are there grandchildren, children, nieces, nephews, somebody?
You know what? We would love to hand it down to our you know, our family. Our sons.
our sons.
You know, if they wanna, you know, get into this business.
One
They've worked
especially-
here already.
Yes,
Yeah.
and they know what it entails and what's
Right.
involved. We do have one son that would love to maybe take the sausage business and open up like a beer and brats, something like that. And so, yeah, I mean, that's something that we would love to see happen for them. But, you know, we can only tell them, hey, would you like it?
So
Yeah.
keep calling like Joe.
Yeah, keep calling like
keep
Joe.
calling like
yeah.
Joe. Hey, yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as our future goes, I want to say maybe another 5 years. You know, because I mean, I don't, you know, I want to be able to retire and just spend time, you know.
We would love for a family member to have it, to pick it up, but we also have people that have asked us that you know, let us know that they're interested in buying the business. But we would prefer family, you know, that would be nice. But if it doesn't happen like that, pues then, you know, possibly we would try and sell it to maybe a meat market or a restaurant that deals with, you know, sausage and stuff that they sell. So we'll see.
If it had to go that way, will you also include all those wonderful recipes?
Well, I think
Yes.
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 Joe was kind enough to share his recipes with us, and this business has allowed us things that we probably would not have been able to go do. Like, for example, go to Rome. We went to Rome, and you know, things like that. The business has helped us with financially in a lot of aspects, and so we would want to be able to do the same for somebody else. Yeah.
Is there anything else, any other last thoughts that you want to share with the audience that we have not covered? Any last words of wisdom?
We're very, very, very grateful for the customers that we have and the new customers that come in regularly and that they heard from either word of mouth or people that have taken sausage out of town and then they come in and they say, we would like some of your sausage. We really appreciate all that. We appreciate the kind words, the positive feedback, and we want to continue giving our customers quality product.
Right, and then when I love to ask the customers about their sausage. I even ask them, how do you make your sausages? What do you do with it? And they also oh no, I'll make it like this, or I'll cut it up and add it to this. And the new customers, I always ask them, how did you hear the sausage shop? Well, I went to a cookout and that's how I found out about it. I never knew this place existed, or they heard it, like in conversation. Hey, have you tried the sausage from the sausage shop? We go, no, where's that at? I never heard of it. That's how then they come in, And but I love to ask customers, how did you hear of the sausage shop? And they tell me their stories, Yeah, so I like that.
Let's continue to hope that the story of the sausage shop continues.
Yes, and thankful, very, very, very thankful to Joe Harisco and his family because they're still very appreciative of us continuing his legacy.
Mm-hmm. Yes.